Us. Again, we will take an opening statement from the head coach, and we will then direct questions to the student athletes and excuse them when they're finished, and then we will take questions for the head coach. Joining us from USC, we have head coach Lindsay Gottlieb and student athletes Kiki Iriafen and Avery Howell. Coach, can you make an opening statement, please?
Sure. Thank you guys for being here. I don't have an update on Juju because I know that's what you all want to know, other than what the statement that was put out at halftime, that she's getting incredible medical care from our, Keck Medicine and the people at USC and our trainers and doctors. So the players don't have any update either as well. So just respectfully, I'd ask you not to ask them something that they don't know. But I'm feeling a lot of emotions, obviously. But the biggest one is pride. What a performance, by this group. When you throw a bunch of talented people on a team, it doesn't become a team until you work through some things. And I always thought throughout the year that if we had something we had to work on, would be when things didn't go right away, we sometimes stressed out, And how about this, something didn't go right for us. You never want anyone to go down, especially someone, like Juju that we all, lean on in so many ways. But this team rallied. They rallied for her. They rallied for each other. Our fans had our back. I'm just really proud. And I think we showed what kind of team we are. Credit to Mississippi State for getting to this point. But I think what you saw here was a really, good, determined team that had something to play for. And you saw the results. Kiki was unbelievable. Avery as well. And it was a true team effort. And I don't think I'll, forget this night for a lot of reasons.
Let's take questions for the student athletes. Ryan?
Ryan Cartier, LA Times. Kiki, Avery, can you just tell us what it's like to bounce back after you see Juju in so much pain? I can imagine it's hard to kind of get things straight after that. How did you guys rally from that point on?
Yeah, I think as Coach mentioned, it's hard when you have such a key player not with you, but at the end of the day, we have to win the game. Respectfully, nobody cares on Mississippi State that we lost her, so I think for us, it was just making sure that we got the job done. We want our season to be extended, so just really rallying and doing whatever we can to make sure that we could get out of Galen.
Right down here in the front.
Hi, Charlotte with FI360 News. Kiki and Avery, when you guys came into the game, did you expect it to be this physical, or was this something over physical than what you guys expected?
I think we expected the game to be pretty physical. Obviously, they're a really good team, and we knew that they were going to come with a lot of different aspects to their game to try to stop us in any way they could. But I think that our team came in with a mindset that we're not going to get punked by anyone. We were ready for whatever they threw at us in any form: offense, switching up what we're running, defense, putting on our press or taking it off. So I think we knew that they were going to be pretty physical, but I think that we handled it really well.
Right down here.
Kiki, LT Willis with TT Sports TV1. The one stat that really impressed me was the 29 assists that you guys had tonight. So can you talk about you guys sharing the basketball tonight?
I think today was really just a team effort. The ball was electric. We were moving that ball. We were passing that ball. And I think that's what makes the win, so grand. And I don't know. I feel like this team, we're just trying to do whatever we can to keep it going. And I think we're very unselfish. And you could really see that today. And it makes it super fun when, when everybody's able to contribute. And I think we had a lot of energy. And our fans today were incredible. So that was an extra six-man for us.
Beth? No, excuse me. Beth Harris.
Beth Harris, AP. Kiki, you just mentioned that the crowd was the sixth man tonight. Of course, they were cheering you guys, but wondering what you thought of, just their anger and emotion that they displayed when the other team had the ball and the cheerleaders from the other team came out.
I think it just shows how ride or die our fans are, and we really appreciate them. I wish we could take them to Spokane and everywhere else with us. So we're super grateful for that, and I think as a 1 seed, that's what you're most grateful for, is having your fans behind you, because it could really kind of be like the edge tipping thing when you're in close games. But I think they gave us a lot of energy, especially when, things weren't going our way at the beginning. So it was nice to have a packed house today.
Next to Beth.
Stefano Fundrich, Daily Trojan. Coach, what did you think of Rhea's game today, especially considering this is her last game, most likely in Galen Center?
I think this questions are supposed to be for the student athletes, but I'm going to take it because I want to talk about Rhea. You know, she came here when there were no fans, and I think this crowd, getting to see her play with a ton of energy, and you know, we talk about her at the front of the press and her defensive coverages, and she just anchors us in so many ways. So I'm very happy for her that she got to feel, you know, an energy like this for her last game in Galen. She deserves that.
Right behind. Aaron.
Aaron Heisen, OC Register. Avery, you know, you guys had buzzer beaters before the end of the first quarter, second quarter, and third quarter. I think you hit the first one. Just you guys swarmed each other on the court after all of those. Can you talk about just like that kind of camaraderie after hitting those shots and how the bench helped you guys today?
Yeah, I think that everyone on our team plays a huge role, our bench especially. We always have a lot of bench energy, which affects our energy on the floor. And then I think just the way we shared the ball tonight was amazing, and I think that it just helped fuel everyone and give energy into everyone's games. We hit more shots that way. You feel like your teammates have you. So I think that all of those buzzer beaters and even every shot, every and one, like all of that, those are energy plays for us that the bench is hyped, the coaching staff's hyped, the atmosphere in the entire gym. Whoever hit the shot, whoever passed it, everyone honestly just feels that, and I think that it's a huge momentum swing for us, and we just kept that rolling tonight, so it was great.
Down the front here.
Hi, Dominique Williams with Annenberg Media. This is a question for both athletes, but Avery, can you speak towards the freshman group? You guys have been the talk of the season of just how you guys prevailed and showed up in big moments like this. Can you speak towards that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have a really big freshman class, so it's been great to be super connected. We're really close, and I think that that's impacted our whole team. I think that we have a pretty big role this year, which coaches let us have, and we're prepared for most moments because of the time we're given in games and how hard we work in practice. But I think that everyone plays a super important role, and we really execute that. But I think that it's been a learning experience for everyone. But throughout this year, it's been great just being able to play alongside super great players, learning from them, and then just being able to execute on the floor.
Let's go back to Beth.
Beth Harris, AP. Kiki, everyone knows there's more than just one person on this team, but do you feel like maybe tonight was kind of a defining moment for you guys, that you were able to suffer that loss early and then maybe showed people that all of us could play together and really build some momentum off this tonight?
I wouldn't say this is our defining moment. I think we've had multiple moments this season of just like team basketball. I think, if anything, the end of the season, the postseason, we've really been clicking, and it's at the perfect time. I would rather it be this way than any other way. So I think for us, it was just rallying. I think we just wanted it. We wanted it really badly. We didn't want our season to end. And as Avery mentioned, we work super hard in practice. We trust in what our coaches have for us. So I wouldn't say it's a defining moment. I think this is what we expect of ourselves. We expect to win in this tournament, regardless of if it's going our way. We have people, we don't have people. That's the standard here. Like, we expect to win. So I think for us, it's just keeping that thing the main thing.
Okay, we'll do one final question over here with Amanda for the student athletes.
It's Amanda Scarlett, LA Sentinel. If you could talk to me about Kaylee Hickle and her energy during this game. I mean, just tell me about her as a player and how helpful she's been to you all this season.
So Heckle's my roommate, so I spend a lot of time with her. She's great, and it's crazy because off the court, she's kind of quiet, but when she plays, she's not quiet at all. You will know her name. You will know who she is when she's playing, and I think she's just like the energizer, the spark that we need. Most of the times you'll see when she comes in, the game shifts for us. She's someone that's able to get us on runs. She's great defensively. She can get to the basket, call her own number, and she's just fearless. So as we've been saying, the freshmen this year are really not freshmen, and I think she embodies that as well, as does Avery and Kennedy. But she's someone who just kind of goes out there, and she's just happy playing basketball. But I think for us, she's the spark that we need in crucial moments.
Okay, thank you both for coming in.
Awesome, thank you.
Good luck. Okay, we'll take questions for Coach. Two in the middle. We'll start to my left, and then
Hey, Coach. I just wanted to ask one more follow-up.
Name and affiliation, please.
Sorry. Ben Verbrugge, News for Us Online. Just had one more follow-up on Kaylee. Just how much do you encourage her to be aggressive on both ends of the floor? Because it seems like when she does play really aggressive, it plays to your guys' advantage.
Yeah, in my conversations with her, it's hard to be a freshman point guard on a team that has championship aspirations, but I want her to be her as much as possible. And we know how talented she is. Essentially, the initial defender doesn't exist. She can get by anybody. It's I think her growth has come in reads and second level leads. She had 6 assists and 1 turnover. And I actually told this to someone today. It reminds me of when I was with the Cavs. I watched a lot of film with Colin Sexton because he was the same. He could get by, and then it's what do you do next? And so I'm really encouraging her to be as aggressive as possible. And when it's a parting of the sea and you can go to the rim, go to the rim. She's an incredible finisher. But also that next level of, okay, I can get by my man, and do I set us up? Do I run? And I just think when she's aggressive, those live reads happen, and her growth has been tremendous. And then on the other side of the ball, she's grown a ton defensively too, and she makes a bunch of things happen for us. So an aggressive K9 is a really good thing for us.
Eric Lampkins, the second Culver City Observer, the Sporting Tribune. Coach, I know exactly how much each one of these players mean to you. Tonight, you lose a generational talent, arguably the best player in college basketball. The Trojan motto was fight on. How do you galvanize and how do you manage and galvanize your team to fight on without Juju?
Yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly what's going to come in these next couple hours when we find out what's going on, but you cannot tell me that the energy of that crowd and how sort of angry they were with the other team and how much fired up they were for our team is so much about what Juju has given to this arena, to this program, to this city. And you just want to give it all back, right? You want to give it all back and support her however we can. But also, the team has become a team, and deserves my best and our best to build that belief in them that they can do anything, right? And so, we don't get to go on the coaching manual script and go by everything the way it's supposed to happen, and whatever comes with it, we will make sure that we're pouring into this team, to Juju, and keeping us together, because as you saw tonight, we're capable of a lot of greatness, and that's what we'll continue to message to our team.
Let's go to Ryan over here.
Ryan Carci, LA Times. Lindsay, you mentioned just how well the team rallied after that moment. What do you tell them when you gather the team after Juju goes down?
I just try to look people in the eye and say, we can do this. We've got this. We need everybody. Stay focused and locked in on the task at hand. But they're competitors, and that's what they are naturally want to do. Have someone's back. I think they had her back. I think they had each other's back. I think stuck together and had the fan. Like I said, the fans felt really a part of that too. You had to be here to feel it. I think. I don't know if people saw that through the TV, but it was a palpable thing that I think everyone wanted to step up for one another, and I just had to guide them, in that direction.
Right here in the middle. Right.
Layla McKenzie, Daily Trojan. Coach Gottlieb, in a game that's as physical as this one, but also one where there's some chatter here and there on the court, what do you do and what role does Kiki play in ensuring that the team just stays focused on themselves and doesn't get overly reactive to a lot of the exchanges and conversations on the court?
Yep. You heard Avery reference it, kind of the terminology I'll use in just that there's no punks in our locker room, right? There was a comment, I think, from one of their players after their last game that, the SEC and we're tough. And, we know that we've got no punks in our locker room, that we have a team that's going to step up. But we also talked about doing that in a very just the way that we do. Box out, meet your passes, make the right play, move that ball. And so as the game got chippier, all we needed to do was go back to, or was to just stay being us. We weren't extra. We were just us, right? We are tough. We are physical. We are very clean in doing that. And I thought the leaders on the court I just kept saying to them, hey, the chippier they, or the more extra they get, the more clean we need to be. And so I think you saw it in the right ways. I think they rallied for one another. I think they felt, some kind of way about Ju not being in there with them, but we rallied in a way of just getting tougher and cleaner with our execution, and I think Kiki was a great example of that, right? She just was dominant, and so was the rest of our team, and I mean that's what you lean on, right? When you need to.
Let's go down here in the front. We'll do 3 more questions after this, okay?
Charlotte Moore, FI 360 News. Coach, you kind of alluded to where I was going with my question. You talked about the SEC, and I was thinking with the conference being SEC versus Big Ten, did you see that there was a difference in how, I guess, the intensity of playing against, was it something with the conference or rivalry, or do you think it would have mattered?
I mean, we're playing to get to a Sweet 16. It was USC against Mississippi State. Conferences don't get trophies for who wins the most games in the tournament. We're trying to get us where we need to go. But that said, I think there is a perception less about, it was only our first year in the Big Ten, but more about like the West Coast, right? People think, West Coast teams aren't as tough or what have you, or there's a persona that maybe, teams in other areas are tougher. And it's just, I mean, if you've seen us play this year, I think everyone, would say that we're a skilled and physical team, a lot of athleticism, a lot of speed and power, and just we're not going to get punked. That's just not the way we're gonna go down. I didn't think it was anything special to do with conferences. It's just we knew, they were going to come in here and try to manhandle us, and that just wasn't going to happen.
Right down here in the front.
Hi, Dominique Williams, Annenberg Media. Coach, can you tell me what was going through your mind when Malia went down and she banged her head, and just the frustration that you felt like it was coming from that team against the players, and how that turned out? What's for you?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying if I told you that I wasn't rattled, seeing Juju on the floor and crying. I mean, this is a human game. And so, tried obviously my best to be what I need to be for the team, but, internally it's a lot. So then Malia goes down also, and she was pretty quick to say, I'm fine. But just in general, you always want to be supportive of your players. Just, continue to remind the officials that, it's okay if there's 50 fouls happening, then you call 50 fouls. If there's not, then there's not. But just reminding them to keep the game at a level that, is the way we want to play it. But, this is a human proposition that we're in, and seeing one player go down the way that Juju did was, emotional for me. So then seeing Malia going down also, I was just relieved to hear her say I'm good.
Coach Connor Morissette, 24/7 Sports over here. Can you describe your difference in emotions when the injury in the first quarter, but then Rhea hits the 3 and people are chanting her name and people are chanting Kiki's name. The crowd is amazing. Kaylee has that great spin. There were so many great moments tonight despite a really unfortunate one. Can you describe your difference in emotions between that early on and then at the end? Yeah,
just so much pride. And I walked in there and I said, usually you're kind of jumping up and down and spraying water and you're going to Sweet 16. I said, the thing I want you to really hear me say is how proud I am of all of you. I had a quote before the last game. I was reading a quote before the game, and before the last game it was about, individual drops of water just not being the same as a tidal wave, And I think we have so many gifted, wonderful people in that locker room, up and down. We have a lot of talent. We have a lot of really good humans. But together, you can do something that you can't do as individual drops of water. And I think we felt like a tidal wave tonight. I'm obviously just heartbroken if there's a serious injury for Juju. But at the same time, to see this place rally behind her, I hope she can at some point see just the significance that she has here that goes so far beyond just her talent and abilities. I mean, that's what's really generational about it, the way she's galvanized everyone. And then the way that her team, had her back, and also really is a team, and we've got people who are capable and willing to step up. And so that was that mix of emotions throughout the game. And, just mostly proud of our fans and our team.
Okay, Coach, we've hit our time limit. Thank you very much for
thank you,
coming
guys.
in. Okay, once again, the format will be we'll ask Coach to make an opening comment. We'll then take questions for our student athlete and then excuse her, and then we will return to Coach for questions. We have with us Mississippi State head coach Sam Purcell and student athlete Kayla Jordan. Coach, can you make some opening comments, please?
Yeah, let me make a couple here. Bear with me. Obviously still emotional from the loss, but first and foremost, my prayers and thoughts are with Juju. Obviously, we're competitors, and you never want to see that, especially what she means for women's basketball and a competitor. I'm hoping the best for her because she's special, and obviously she's special for this team. Second one is just congrats to USC. I thought the environment here was very special. That DJ is unbelievable, and I thought the energy was phenomenal. And I think, a shout out to the crowd when Juju went down, how they rallied behind the players. And I thought they uplifted them, and they played lights out. And when you play a number one seed that just shoots it the way they do, they were the better team. And tonight we needed to play our best, and we just didn't do that. And then third and final here is a shout out to my seniors. For us to get back to this NCAA tournament, to have a winning culture, and to have this young lady right here beside me for this journey for my first 3 years. I can't say enough thank yous to her, Kayla, and Anaya. We didn't want this to end because, as much as the transfer portal happens, you put a team together. We were playing our best basketball at the right time, and, it just wasn't our night tonight.
Okay, we'll take questions for a student athlete. Over here, Beth.
Kayla, athletes always want to go best against best and have that competition be top level. What did you think when you saw Juju go down?
Honestly, just very unfortunate. You look forward to playing people like Juju. Like I said it yesterday, like Juju is a generational talent, man. She's changed the game in so many ways at such a young age. I actually was looking forward to playing against her. She's one of the best of the best. So seeing her go down just was real tough. I say my prayers for her. I hope she's okay. But it sucks. It was their last home game. Very unfortunate. Like you hate to see a player go down, especially someone's just as great as Juju.
What was it like for you and your teammates to, hear that booing every time you guys touched the ball, and they even got after your cheerleaders at halftime?
Were they booing or cheering for us?
like Coach Sam said, they're gonna stand behind their home team. We're in their home. In California, it's Juju. They're gonna go hard for Juju. So I couldn't do nothing but just respect them because, if we were in our home and it was flipped, our fans would ride for us. So like I said, prayers to Juju. I hope she's okay. Very unfortunate, but congratulations to USC.
We have a couple questions on Zoom. Let's go to Robbie Falk.
Hey, Jerk. Just kind of wanted to ask you about your tenure at Mississippi State, and we talked about it a few weeks ago. I mean, you chose to stay here. There's several different coaches, and you'd already transferred here from somewhere else. I mean, how do you kind of sum it all up and what you were able to do here?
I'm honestly just grateful for the time that I had at Mississippi State. Grateful for Coach Sam and everything we've been through. He's brought me to a tournament for my first time. It's my second time here with him. Just reflecting on everything, I'm just proud of the route that I've taken. I wouldn't change it for anything. If I can do it again, I would do it all over again. Everything comes to an end one day. So, I'm just glad to go out with this coach, this team. And like I said, I'm just grateful for the opportunity, honestly, to even be here in this tournament.
We have another question from Zoom from Sam Sklar. Go ahead, Sam.
Yeah. Hey, Jacayla, it's Sam Sklar with the Clarion Ledger. Kind of similar to that question, but just you being here now for a few seasons and playing your last game, what do you just think of the direction of the program and where these progress has been made these last couple of seasons?
Honestly, I remember first committing to Mississippi State. It was nothing like this. I've had a team of 7. We went out there and played every night. Team of 5, team of no coaches, interims. Like you said, I've been through 3 different coaching staffs. But honestly, just being someone that can watch the program evolve with your own eyes, being there when there were, no one in the crowd to play my first sold-out game from LSU. Like, I feel like if I had a checklist, I've checked everything off the list of my college career. And, I give all thanks to this man. Like, I've played in sold-out crowds. I've played against the best of the best. So, I could just say thank you to this program as a whole. Thank you to the Starkville community. And like I said, I'm just very grateful, honestly.
We'll go to Amanda here.
Amanda Skerlock, LA Sentinel. What maybe improvements or proud moments do you have this season? How did this season change you for the better?
That's a great question, honestly. I've changed a lot. Not only on the court, but just like off the court as a person. Like, I've learned a lot about myself. He had to force me to be more talkative. Like, I like to lead by example, so I had to step on my shell a little bit, especially with last year. Like you said, I've been through ups and downs, highs and lows here at Mississippi State, where we didn't make the tournament last year. And I think we had like maybe 3-4 returners. Like, we didn't have a team. We didn't even have a starting 5. So it was just 4 of us. But, I stuck beside him. I trusted the process. I learned to take in the freshmen and the newcomers and just tell them, like, some things you don't want to go through again. Like, I've seen, like I said, I've seen the worst, the best, but I wouldn't trade it for nothing in the world. So me overall, I feel like I improved very mentally, just growing as a person. And now just taking everything I learned from, the team and just going into the real world and using that every day.
We have any other questions? Okay. Thank you very much for coming
Thank
in.
you. Thank y'all.
Okay, we can direct questions now to Coach. Down front.
Jordan Mendoza, USA Today. Coach, obviously the injury seemed like it was kind of like a non-contact injury, but it appeared...
You're talking about Juju.
Yes, with Juju. But, it seems like there are some people that thought one of your players did something, and it seems like it's kind of getting on social media. Have you kind of talked to your players about just, hey, like, you're okay, you did nothing wrong?
No, this is the first time I've heard that. Again, like that's what I said in my opening statements. We're a program of class, and my prayers and thoughts as the leader of this program immediately in that opening statement was with Juju. We don't play to hurt, we play to compete, and that's just an unfortunate situation. There was no harm, and I hope us as a society, because social media can be ugly, that you understand the other lady on my team that was involved is a woman of class. She comes from a family, too, with loving parents, and I'm sure she is remorseful and obviously, but, didn't want to have that happen situation. So I pray as a society that we understand as a thoughtful apology that we don't take this further than it needs to. And on behalf of the Bulldogs, again, we're praying for her recovery for this next game because she's the ultimate competitor, and we want to see her back on that court.
Okay, let's go to Zoom. Robbie Falk.
Hey, Coach. Robbie Falk with Maroon and White Daily and
hey, Robbie.
Starkville Daily News. Obviously, you took this roster over. You had to completely rehaul it outside of 3 or 4 players, and you're right back in the NCAA tournament. We talked about this. I know this was a disappointing ending, but how do you kind of sum up how you were able to get this team back to where you wanted to be and in position to where you're playing a team that can compete for a national championship and you're in position to go to the Sweet 16?
Yeah, if you're a competitor, first and foremost, you sacrifice, and I talked about my team. It's chances and choices, and we made the choice to come here. We made the choice to wear this Mississippi State jersey and wear it with pride, and that's what I'm prideful of, is that we put another 20-win season and competed in the toughest league in the country, and then we just got to be real. Tonight was not our night. USC deserves all the flowers. They were unbelievable, and they were the better team, but we can't let one night like tonight derail, to your point, what a great year that we had to get this program back, and now it's maintaining that energy and only building off of it. And then obviously in women's basketball, our goal is to get to this point where we win enough games now and take this to the next level where you're hosting in the first and second round and try to avoid a situation like this, because again, I can't say enough great things about USC and the energy of the fan base and that DJ and the energy that was in this building. I just thought they played at another level tonight.
Let's go to Sam Sklar on Zoom.
Hey, Sam.
Hey, Sam.
I talked a lot about the turnovers this season, and just looking at the stats, 20 field goals and 20 turnovers. How much do you think that just played a part in how things kind of unraveled it?
Yeah, it was unfortunate. We've seen this year. We talked about getting off to a great start. I thought we had great prep. I mean, you saw a great Cal game where we fought like no other. And then when you play a team like this, you don't want to get punched in the face. And I thought, obviously, the first call of the game on Medina was hard. But the next thing you know, I'm burning a timeout, and it's 11-0, I think, all right, to start the game, or 9-0. They were making shots, and then that's not what you want. You want to have them tight because they're obviously trying to defend their home. But when you got a major league like that with one of the top teams in the country, I just thought they continued to start cooking and start playing. And they, just like they did in this media room, turned the lights up on us.
We will continue, hoping that we can still see here.
Somebody hit the light button, guys. Oh, okay.
Okay, let's go over here to Amanda. Jillian.
I know you mentioned this in your first statement, but if you could talk to me about Jacayla Jordan and just what she meant to the program. Oh, my gosh, I'm sorry. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Then what does she mean, just all the years that she's been here, what does she mean to you and the program?
I'm going to stretch on this one. Let's try not to get emotional again. 20 years, right? I've been in this business. There's certain kids that are special. I love all these seniors. But that one, like you heard her story, man, we've been through some stuff, right? Given this job 3 years ago, there's a lot of pride to understand what I've taken over. Right? We were at the highs of highs, and I embrace it. I'm a dog. I want to get it back. But in order to get it back, you got to have some dogs with you. And for Jerk to stay in the program and give a first-year head coach an opportunity, it's unheard of. right? Like, she's like, what in the world's happened to my career? Who do we just hire? The guy's never been a head coach. But I sat down with her and I talked to her, and she was like, okay, I'm going to give him a chance. And then in the first year, we make the NCAA tournament, and just like today's society, the portal's crazy. She didn't leave me. Everybody wanted her. All right, she was a top SEC player, but she was like, Coach, I believe in you and the vision. And then for second year to be one of the first 4 teams out, again, kids can make excuses. They can leave. She didn't. She loves Mississippi State, and she loved this program, and she was one of my lead recruiters in helping put this team together. And for us to get back is a testimony to her, because coaches get too much credit for wins and losses, right? You know, and a player like her, when we look at the history of our program, you look at a kid that, you know, like I said, played every single night like it was her last game. And you just love that as a coach. You want that out of every player, but every player ain't wired like that. Jerk's wired for that. I can go back from games and games when it's been hard, and she rises to the occasion. That's why I hate this one ended like it did, all right, because she wanted this. It just wasn't her night. But I'm emotional because I love that kid, and there's no doubt she's going to be a pro, and I wish nothing but the best for her, and thankful for the 3 years that she gave me. You got me. That's all right. And the lights. And there they go again.
Let's go to Benjamin Rosenberg on Zoom.
Yeah, hi, Coach. It just seems like when you've got a team that's making a bunch of really tough shots, including some highly contested ones, how do you not let that affect your play on the offensive end? It seemed like, obviously they were pressing and sped you guys up a little bit, but how can you not get hurried when the team is just smoking hot the way they were?
Yeah, again, I can't say enough things. We got to keep it real. We got our butt kicked by a really good team. And again, I thought they played inspired when Juju went down, and this place went to a whole nother level. And they've got other really good players. And when a good player goes down, other players step up. And I thought that's what you saw tonight. Obviously, Kiki, I think, is one of the best players in the country, and she was electric. We had our center on her, our guard on her. We doubled her. We went 2-3. We went man-to-man. We trapped her. We never stopped her. We threw the whole kitchen sink in the house. But she was just electric, and that's what great players do. They make plays, and they carry a swagger, and I thought she did that. And then our goal was to get it to 10 by half, and I could just see that shot at the end of the half. It's one of those nights when you just know, oh, crap, there's still time on the clock, and they shoot it, and it banks in. You know you're in for a long night, and it's their night. So we tried everything, like I said, but there's no excuses. They were the better team. We had to bring our A game, and as simple as just unfortunately in the second round we did it, and you got to give USC their credit.
Let's go right back here. We'll do this, and then we have one question on Zoom, and that'll be it.
Yep.
Coach, I assume coming into the game you had developed a game plan to stop Juju or to contain Juju. So when she goes out like that, how difficult is it to switch your game plan and try to stop Kiki and the other actions that they had that were away from that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I mean, you guys know Juju obviously is the focal point, right? So obviously we wanted to double her on ball screens, blitz her, when she went on one-on-one isolations, because, Juju is the lead, as she should be. But we also knew when Juju is out in the minutes that she played previously that it was going to go to Avery Howell or Kiki. Those are the next two. They're going to get their numbers called. So we tried, but again, when elite players know that they need to rise to the occasion, that's why I want to give Kiki and Howell their flowers, along with Samuels. I don't think Samuels gets enough love. All right, I keep saying it. That kid, every time I watch the tape, changes the game. She changes, and I told my team, you've got a special team when, no offense to her, she's the third point guard on the team. And she comes in, and I'm talking about the third point guard as much as I am the first. And I tell them, we got to be mentally dialed in and don't turn it over when we inbound it, because she's picking you up and she's going to change the course, and it happened right away. So just a shout out to those other players being ready for their moment. And again, this team at USC still has a special team, and like I said, I hope Juju can come back, because they've done a lot of great things this year, and you don't want to see something derail here this late in the year. Hopefully that answered your question. That answer it? Perfect.
We'll go back to Robbie. You have your hand raised still? Robbie Falk?
Yes, sir. Sam, just kind of looking ahead now, I mean, obviously replacing a special player in Jerkayla. I know you're hoping to bring back a lot of this roster. You have a lot of players that have the opportunity to come back.
Yeah.
What's kind of your outlook on building this next team?
Yeah. First and foremost is, like I said to the returners, is like, man, it's obviously, again, this is a beauty of March, but tomorrow's the portal, is retaining all the players and bringing this team back. We have a winning culture that just went to the NCAA tournament, just signed a top 10 signing class in the country with some great young women that our fan base is going to absolutely love. So that's my energy right there, is talking with them and making sure nothing changes here tomorrow. And then let's build off this. Let's have some chemistry where we understand what it takes and not have to spend so much time like we this year to build that nucleus, because I think those group that can come back is a special group. We would love to have them here, and they did a lot of great things this year.
All righty, Coach. Thank you very much for coming in. Our apologies on the lighting.
That's all right. Thanks, everybody.